Audio check. Audio check. Hey guys, just gonna do first a small audio check, because this is always messed up. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, sounds good. Guys and girls, welcome to the stream. It's Friday evening, at least where I live, and we're gonna stream a little bit more Last Epoch every week-ish, sort of. We do this Friday night. There's the weekend started, and I'm already excited. So guys, first of all, let me know how the audio sounds, especially versus the music. I didn't change the settings, but yeah, it's OBS. You never know. Like this software has a will of its own, really. Already a few questions in the chat. Well, one question really, a few comments. Cal M, welcome to the stream, buddy. Appreciate it. Francisco, stream. Noel, hi. Hi, Noel. Christo, Palu. Does Black Hole have a tree? Black Hole has a tree. Yeah, it has a tree. So, hope you guys are doing well. I'm doing pretty good. I already had a very interesting day. I did a little bit of work in the morning. I had one meeting that I had to attend to. Normally Friday is my day off. So, but this morning I had a small meeting that I had to get to. That was like half an hour, so it wasn't too bad. And then I recorded the build guide. So that will be up, I think, well, maybe tomorrow. Probably tomorrow it will be up. But you can see a preview today on stream. I did an interview with none other than Sarno, the community manager for Last Epoch, which is super exciting. I think it went well. Everything is recorded properly. It's gonna be a bit of editing, but you can expect the interview relatively soon as well. I think somewhere next week. And what else did I do? Yeah, not much. I had a video call and a few beers with a colleague of mine. Just enjoying ourselves a bit in the digital world. And now there's a stream, guys. So I hope you're doing good as well, and that you are looking forward to the weekend. Depending a bit on your time zone, it might have already started. For me, definitely it is 8 PM over here, Central European time. Well, let's just dive into Last Epoch. I still need to start up the game. So I had an idea for this stream, and that was mainly to just have a look at. Yeah, can you turn down the music a little bit? Yeah, I can. It's loud over here as well, which is weird because I didn't really touch it. Like I said, it's OBS. It honestly got a will of its own. How about this? Is it better? It should be better, right? Let me have a quick listen here. Yeah, it's not too bad, but I think it's okay. But let me know. I will. I turned it down a little bit. I can also turn up the Yeti maybe a little bit. That's great. All right, Bill. Thanks so much, buddy. So guys, my idea for the stream for Last Epoch was normally what we do, we start with a new character, and then mostly you watch me basically going through the campaign with a new character. But I have a lot of characters. Like, I have a lot of characters, right? So these are all the characters that I have. I didn't count them, but it's getting close to 30, alright? And I thought, let's just showcase a few of these characters. Most of them are like end game characters, and yeah, you get a bit of an idea on like the stuff that I'm working on. And none of these characters are like maybe particularly good. Some are actually really bad, but maybe we can improve some of them together. So I think first off, let's start with the build that we did last stream. So last week we leveled a Serpent Strike druid. What's the druid? A Serpent Strike beastmaster. Oh, I already see the problem. Okay, just a second. Let's start. Let's just pretend that didn't happen. Let's start with a totem guy. Who is your strongest char and who's the weakest? I think one of the strongest characters I have is a werebear over here. He is, I think that's David. I think David the druid, the werebear. He was at least very strong last patch. I played a bit of it this patch. Very strong. Weakest? Probably one of my sentinels. Because I sometimes have a hard time making those guys work. Like Kilgrim is horrible. That's a horrible character. He's level 83, but don't ask me how. Like it's horrible. Alright, we're starting with totems, guys. Thy totems. Yeah, hey, Sardo. I was just talking about you, buddy. Yeah, so Sarno and I did a little bit of an interview this afternoon. It was a small achievement by Sarno to still be alive. Apparently he woke up at 4 AM today. Yeah. Yeah, so what I'll tell, the format is going to be like this, right? I'll tell you a little bit about the character and what it's meant to do. Show you some stats. I know my camera is in the way of some of these stats, but I think most of the important stats are there. And then we can just see, right? So that was your time. 3 AM for me. That's even more painful, man. So what do we have here? We have a level 82 shaman. Thy totems. This is a guy I made a build guide for this morning. So tomorrow it still has to render, but I think I'll do the rendering tonight. So tomorrow this should be uploaded around usually 4 PM Central European time. That's when my videos go live, right? So what do we have? Level 82. Resistances are okay-ish, sort of. But we have a lot of totem synergy. So I can't actually summon my thorn totems right here. But if I would summon a storm totem, you can already see resistance is increasing. If I summon a bunch of healing totems, you can see resistances are increasing. So this is a totem guide. We have a lot of totem synergy. And let's just do an arena run. So we're using wand, shield. We are glancing blow capped 114%, and we have 100% crit strike avoidance. So all of that is good, I would argue. And gear wise, we are mostly defensive. Bunch of attunement. We have this weird unique over there. I don't really have anything that's better. It's not horrible on this character. It's not great. It's okay. Totems, they increase cold damage per active totem. And you'll soon see, if I don't mess this up at least, that we're gonna have a lot of active totems. So that means a lot of increased cold damage per active totem. So this is already 35. And here's another 14. So we got like 49% cold damage per active totem. That stuff adds up. Hey Marcos, good afternoon. Sanctuary's Reaper, what's going on? Doing well, guys. Weekend is started. I've already had a few beers, honestly. So yeah, doing well. We got a bunch of totems in my inventory, but like don't pay attention to that. So let's pick up a key and do an arena run. Any date for patch 0.8? This month is the date. So it's between now and what's the date? Like the 15th or something? It's between now and 2 weeks. My first character, I thought the main campaign was over when I reached the end of the time the first time. It used to be. It used to be, but not anymore. Yeah, it's close. It's not gonna take an awful lot of time. Yeah, so the totemist guys that we're building, what you basically are doing is you're auto casting the thorn totems. So whenever I hit an enemy, and I do that quite a bit, I'm summoning these 5 frost totems basically, right? Just saw them move. They're not actually on my action bar. It's just like whenever I'm hitting someone, there's a chance that I'm summoning these totems. It's a 6% chance, I think, something around that area. But we hit a lot of enemies, right? So 6% doesn't seem great. But for example, every boulder over there counts as a hit. So this works pretty well, and it's got a lot of synergy, this build. Is auto cast is for the spell itself or an item? So auto cast is a confusing term. I have an idol that says 6% chance on hit to summon a thorn totem, and I have thorn totem, which is over here. This is my thorn totem skill tree, and I summon 3 additional totems. They last 9 seconds, and I summon them all at once in a ring. So that combined with this idol, 6% chance on hit when I hit to summon a thorn totem, means that every hit I have a 6% chance to summon 5 thorn totems. Now if I would slot these things, which I don't do, but let's say I take my R key and I slot it into thorn totem, and we'll have to wait like 4 seconds. If I would cast myself, it would be like this, right? But on no, you can ask the noob questions, buddy. Don't worry about it. I'm here to explain. I'm here to explain the noob questions. No worries. So if I cast myself, I would cast it like this, right? I press R and these things appear. But I have this idol, and then whenever I hit, and the hit is whenever one of these like ice spikes hits, or whenever one of these like boulders hits, every time on every enemy I have a 6% chance to basically do this. And that is constantly, right? That just happens constantly. So I don't have to actually cast these things myself anymore. I can just use my other skills, and most likely, you know, I'll summon these totems. Right now they're not up, right? But like very soon I'm gonna hit something, and then they should appear. Now they're failing me currently, but normally speaking, they should appear. It's a 6% chance, so it's not the best. You can do better with the totems for sure. And if you want to be sure, you know, you can put the totems yourself on the quick bar, but there they are, right? And these things last for like 9 seconds. I think they could even potentially proc themselves. I'm not sure if the totem hits count as hits as well. If so, then the totems can like resummon themselves. But this is sort of the idea of the build. So it's definitely an arena build. Definitely not a monolith build, because I don't even have movement speed. I'm pretty slow in that regard. But it's a fun build nonetheless. It's a build that is well, a sort of baseline totem build. It's not great, because at some point it's gonna fall off a little bit. But it works pretty well up until like level 100, wave 100, something like that. And there's a bit more synergy here as well. For example, the ice thorns. What happens over here is that you can see it over here. I've got 4 stacks of firewood heart. These ice thorns, whenever I cast them and they hit, I get a buff from those things as well. Up to a maximum of 4, and the buff is 25% increased cold damage. It doesn't seem like much, but in total it's 100% cold damage. I converted my avalanche, which I'm casting right now. This is the boulders that are falling down. I converted those to cold damage. So that means that it synergizes pretty well. You do some additional buff cold damage, you have your avalanche, it's cold damage. There's a lot of stuff that works together over here. And you can see that in the damage too. Especially the damage of the avalanche is pretty good. Because we also have a skill. Skill over here, which says increase spell damage for each active totem. And we have on average about maybe 10. If I cast all my healing totems, right? These are my healing totems. If I have 10 of them, and then I have my thorn totems, right, and my storm totem right over here, I have 500% increased spell, 400% increased spell damage, which is pretty good. So that's sort of like the base of this build. Pretty fun build. Not ideal for leveling, honestly. Can definitely do better. And the main reason that leveling is a bit of an issue is that there's just not a whole lot of synergy for a build like this, and then it takes a while, let's say, before these totems and your other active skills are synergizing well with each other, because you just need a certain amount of points in the skill trees. So what you usually see me do is cast a bunch of ice thorns to keep hopefully those buffs up with 100% cold damage. I cast a bunch of healing totems in between just to make sure I have a bunch of totems up. The storm totem I have to individually cast, there's no real other way to do it. And what that thing does is it adds additional protections, it debuffs the enemies, it slows them down, it chills them, it shocks them. There's quite a few things that why this is useful to have. I have the avalanche, which is following me around, so even if I move towards enemies, those avalanche boulders are following me as well. But yeah, you can also see that it's taking a bit of a toll on your system from time to time. Frame rate with totems and with minions in general, but specifically totems. Specifically if you make them explode into poison, but we'll get to that. Yeah, frame rate gets killed a bit, but it's not the worst. Yeah, and Marcos, buddy, if you have any more, like, what you consider newbie questions, feel free to ask them, because it's not a super complex game. It's not like Path of Exile or anything, but it's not a super easy game either. So, you know, whenever me or someone in the chat can be of help, no problem whatsoever. Okay, let's move away here, because that guy's gonna explode. Alright, we gotta watch out a bit of the death screech. But you can see that with all the totems up and with the increased spell damage and everything, first of all, like these healing totems, they do a very decent job in healing me, healing the other totems, keeping everything going pretty smoothly. We haven't really been in danger so far, right? And this is something that will go relatively well until about wave 100, I think. Let's get out of the glacier. Yeah, so he casts an avalanche as well. You really need to watch out for that stuff. Yeah, so the Rhyme Giant over there is just tricky. It's just tricky to deal with. You can try it from a distance, but whenever that guy hits you for whatever reason, you're basically dead. I tried a few variations of this build as well. So we tried this build with the set piece actually of the shaman or of the primalist, and it's not bad. It's not bad. You can go. I'm not totally sure what the name is again. I have it in my chest. Right, Halvar's pledge and like Halvar's everything. So I have the stand and I have the pledge. And if you take those things, I can quickly equip it. You lose a lot of defenses, right? But if you do equip it, you can see that you have additional spell cold damage. That's flat cold damage. That's pretty good. Greetings from Germany. Your YouTube please helped me enormously to play last Epoch. I'm glad to hear it, buddy. Thanks so much. What you see over here is the main advantage, in my opinion, is that you get a lot of mana efficiency from this. So the staff is decent. It gives you -3 spell mana cost. It gives you additional mana, attunement, which is super good for this build because everything scales with attunement, and 7% mana efficiency. And over here, a 9% mana efficiency, almost perfectly rolled freeze rate. And then some other hybrid stuff. 43% increased physical damage if you have directly cast a cold spell recently. So normally if you would leave Avalanche as both a cold and physical spell, this would work, right? Because basically the spell would proc itself and proc this effect. And the haste is fine, but 3% chance to gain haste when you kill an enemy with the spell is too specific. This hardly ever procced for me, but yeah, it works. When you think patch will come? Between now and 2 weeks. Last part is Gift of the Mountain, right? Right, so the third, that's true, eh? So what Derek says over here, I haven't found the last piece, unfortunately. But the last piece would be 100% chance to cast Avalanche Boulder at the target when you critically hit with a spell. So not only if you critically hit with Avalanche, but with the spell in general. So that's pretty interesting. I think without those three, this set isn't too good. Yeah, that could very well be. My main issue with this set is not necessarily that you don't cast, let's say, additional boulders. The main issue is that if you use this set, you're lacking a lot of defenses. So unless you're only kiting and sort of dodging and that kind of stuff, it's hard to basically survive the arena at higher levels and higher waves, simply because you lack defenses, because there's no really defensive stats on this whatsoever. It's got good stats on it, don't get me wrong, it's got additional crit as well, but the defensive stats are the main issue here. So I played around with like these 2 pieces of the set, simply I just haven't found the 3rd piece yet. And while, especially when leveling in like lower level arena, totally fine, but yeah, later levels I found it lacking. Maybe you can compensate with hard CC. You could, I suppose. It's just that I found that, yeah, at some point, you're basically getting one shot, and that happens a lot sooner with just using that staff than, let's say, with the setup I have now. So this setup, my current setup, is really aimed at trying to survive and I'm just trying hopefully to get like a high rating in the arena, and it's not even that high, but hopefully like around level 100, maybe 150, something like that. It's not really a build that you want to be playing if you're already sort of struggling to run last Epoch, right? If let's say on a non-minion build you have sort of issues with running last Epoch, then this is not a build that is advisable, because this is eating away at your frame rate for sure, like a lot of minion builds. But there's so much stuff going on, right? You have the avalanche, you have the storms, you have the lightning, you have the ice spikes. There's a lot of shit going on. Just jump back on Shaman or Druid? No, I'm just showcasing sort of like a selection of my endgame characters, and talk a bit about them, give you guys maybe some ideas of how you could build certain characters. I have a whole list of characters, and yeah, instead of starting a new one each stream, which I could do, I thought, you know, let's spend the stream looking at a few of the endgame characters that I have, talk a bit about those, see how they do. I think maybe next stream or something we can revisit some of the older builds that I know are sort of broken. Oh, you're wondering if this is a Shaman or Druid? Sorry, it is a Shaman. Yeah, a Shaman Totemist. Yeah, you're welcome, buddy. No problem. Now you can see with the sort of like the cast totem on hits, it's only 6% from that totem, but it's more than enough. Like, you don't need more than 6% really. Like, these totems are always up and I'm never casting them myself, right? I also invested a little bit more into the, let's say, base life of totems. What? Stream starting soon. What? What do you mean, Sardo? It's not the stream that I see, right? You guys are still seeing me in the arena right now, right? At least according to my OBS you are. Otherwise I'll have to check on my phone, but let me know. Yeah, you are, yeah. Either Sarno is looking at like an old version. Yeah. Maybe his screen paused or something, or went back. I think he's saying being interesting. Yeah, who knows. I use these days I have a stream deck, which is, you know, it's something that you think about when you're streaming every now and then. Let's try and live as well. And then, you know, you think like, yeah, do I actually need that? Like, it's a bit of a gimmick maybe, right? Is it really useful? But it's really useful, right? Because what used to happen all the time with me is that I had the different scenes based on my numlock, but then you don't really remember that. So then, you know, you just type in and you use your numlock or something, and then you go back to your first scene in OBS, which is the stream is starting soon. So whenever I hear someone say that, I'm like, oh crap, did I press the wrong button again? But yeah, now I have a stream deck, so there's no way, right? I did not press the wrong button again. Patch 0.7.8 sounds good. It sounds good for sure. I am really super excited about the whole thing, and hopefully we get it sooner rather than later, I guess, this month. No, but they've been teasing since what, like 1.5 weeks. I think we have about 8-9 updates so far, and yeah, I honestly can't wait to play. I don't know, play chapter 8. The stashes I thought was very interesting. The whole stash situation. Some new animations, some new skeletons, new music. Yeah, really good. And I guess we can expect a few more teases, right? Sarno? Brian Gaming, welcome back, buddy. How are you doing? Are you at work again? So leaderboards in game, will they be for rewards linked to it on release, or is it purely for stroking the EP? Yeah. So far, it's for stroking. But I don't know, maybe at some point, you know, what I could imagine what would be fun, but then I'm just speculating here, of course, is that we would get a race or something. A race with leaderboards, with maybe some sort of reward. I wouldn't really know what the reward would be. I'm not even sure if, like, PoE, who regularly does races, like, is there an actual reward for people like Tai Killer? Or is it just like the fame? But yeah, so far no rewards. Hey, Oceanside Levo. Hope you had a good day. I did have a good day, thank you. Yeah, I did have a good day. I interviewed Sarno earlier today about last Epoch and all kinds of shenanigans. That was pretty fun. Ah, there will be exclusive microtransactions made available in Games of War. Ah, nice. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. Well, there's your answer. It's not there yet, at least. That's for sure. Yeah, of course there will be a video for the interview. Yeah, you can expect the video somewhere next week, I think. So we talked for about an hour or so, and I'll have to look back at it a little bit. I didn't really have a chance to sort of look at the actual footage. apart from, you know, that it was recorded properly, which it was, so that's good. So I'll have to think a little bit on how to do it. If we're just putting the whole thing out there, or maybe do some editing. So I think I'll do a bit of editing and then render it. Rendering a video of an hour takes a long time. I can tell you that. So I'll usually render during the night, you know, when I'm asleep. Because your PC is basically useless when rendering. You just can't really do anything else. I mean, you can watch some videos or something, but that is really about it. You can't play any games or do anything. So yeah, I think I'll do a bit of editing, render it, and then somewhere next week, probably near the end of next week, honestly, because I got a few other videos that I'm working on and that are, you know, a bit shorter. Now, get a better PC, buddy. I have a pretty decent PC. No, but most of my videos, if you've noticed at least, they're in 4K. So yeah, I'm rendering them in 4K, 80 megabytes bitrate. So those files are humongous, and I don't mind, but yeah, it just eats up your entire PC. Are you waiting 16 hours for your rendering? Oof. I'm more waiting like... It takes me about, I don't know... Rendering is, I think, 3-4 times the actual length of the video. With my current rendering settings, which are 4K settings, right? So, if I have a 4K interview of an hour, it will take about 4 hours to render. I know you're kidding, buddy. Don't worry about it. Yeah, and I was thinking eventually to also like start recording in 4K, which right now is not possible because I don't have a 4K monitor. But yeah, I thought of getting one. And then maybe record in 4K, but it's a bit, yeah, I don't know, it's a bit yeah, it is a little bit unfortunate that it requires editing, but like Sarno said so many inappropriate things that we have to cut out a few of those just for YouTube standards and guidelines. So yeah. Oi! Ah no! The reading chat got me killed. Well, what did we make? Wave 64. Okay. Wave 64 is not very impressive, is it? But it's fine. So, that's one character. That's one character, guys. I need some... I need to get some of this equipment out of here, because my other character needs this equipment. I think he needs actually most of it, if not all of it. Let me check. So this, that, and that ring as well. All right, so that was one character. We're just gonna go through a bunch of characters. Up next is the character of last week, guys. So last week we made a Serpent Strike druid? No, a beastmaster, right? Serpent Strike beastmaster. And currently he's pretty naked. He doesn't have much, but that's why we just dropped all this gear. So he can just take over this gear, and it works actually pretty well. So like this, yeah, we don't need the belt because we have the Viper tail. So idea of this build, ladies and gents, is that we have the Drow Sting for a lot of poison damage and poison chance. All of these other items that I just equipped are basically a bit of combination between minion items and defensive items. There's not really any damage going on in these things. Apart from this, maybe a little bit of poison damage. And then we have Viper Tail for more poison chance. So yeah, I've been playing this game, been playing this character since last week as well. I kept sort of evolving this character, and we're gonna do a build guide on this guy at some point in time as well. And one of the interesting things, for sure, is that if you look at the defenses, we're capped, right? We have 100% crit avoidance, 100% glancing blow. We get a lot of dodge. So if I don't do anything, I have 52% dodge. But as soon as I start attacking, we can attack a dummy a few times. As soon as we start attacking, we get an awful lot of dodge, right? So here, watch the dodge, right? So about 77%. So you see a few things happening here, right? First of all, you see 15,000 poison crits. Alright. 18,000. That's just a combination of like my damage, the attack speed that I have, and the totems that we have, and that's not even the limit. You can do a lot more. Also, I'm automatically casting totems, as you can see. So we have a similar set of idols that we used to have. Here's it again, right? 6% chance on hit, summon a Thorn Totem. Minion poison damage, very good. 9% chance, 7% chance, 9% chance. So we have, what is that in total? Like 18, 25, 31% chance on hit to summon a Thorn Totem. Thorn Totem? We once again have this combination over here. You get like 5 Thorn Totems at the same time. And then we went basically full poison. Whenever I start attacking, these things, I summon them, right? And then, if you look at the skill tree here, it says Rotten Core. When Thorn Totems die or are unsummoned, they have a chance to release a Poison Cloud. A spell that deals poison damage over time. It's got a 100% chance. And unsummoning is synergetic with, let's say, resummoning. So whenever I resummon basically my totems, I unsummon the old totems and they release poison clouds. So once again, here, this is the first set, nothing happens, right? They don't really attack either. But then, now I summon a new one, you got a bunch of poison clouds. I keep doing this, there's poison clouds all over the place. Actually, the game gets kind of weird because it's sort of like a green overlay and it completely messes up the visuals. But that's another topic. It also completely messes up your frame rate, by the way. This is by far the laggiest build that I've ever played. Because these poison clouds, I'm not totally sure what's happening with them, but they ruin your frame rate. They really do. Because right now it's still sort of okay-ish because I'm not moving, right? It's a single target. In the arena, you can imagine, I have like a green sort of pool of stuff behind me as I sort of kite away from the enemies. I have this like, yeah, trail of poisonous goo behind me. And yeah, game doesn't particularly like it. But that's the main that's the main idea of the character. My main issue is, as I'm sure you can see, I have 5 lightning and 5 cold resistance. So there's a bit of a bit of a problem. But I already reached like wave 130 with these stats. So let's see. Let's see what we can do. Is there anything else? If you guys have questions about this build, let me know. But we talked about gear, we talked about the skills. The other skills that we have, we got a poisonous scorpion, we got serpent strike, of course, ice thorns. Not convinced by ice thorns at all, honestly, but it also poisons a little bit. We got some like poison nodes over here, and the extremely strong skill entangling roots. What would that cause trouble in the arena? I never come poison cloud because of trying to do bad things in the ground. Yeah, well, I'm about to show you if that is a problem in the arena. Depends a bit on like your definition of a problem, I suppose. But in terms of frame rate, yeah, it's a problem. Okay, let's get the dude out. So what is really nice about this? Let me press F11 here. You can see the frame rate. So I currently have 14 frames. And I have a really good PC here, guys. Even though some people don't think it is. Like a very decent PC. But to some extent, but look at what happens, right? We've got poison clouds over like half of my screen currently, and it's not getting less, I can tell you that, because while I was just hitting, let's say, a single target, the dummy, right? The dummy is a single target. Whenever I hit my serpent strike into a group of enemies, that hitting chance is multiplied. So this is a single hit, right? I'm single-hittingly hitting that whatever enemy that is, the hulking overgrowth, and it's only the hulking overgrowth. But if a bunch of skeletons come walking my way and I hit all of those at the same time, like the flies over here, all of those individual flies work as chance on hit. So I have 31% chance on all of those individual flies. So sometimes you resummon your totems like 5 times within a single strike, and you also create 4 poison clouds, and this is a little bit what you're getting, right? So I basically covered this whole part of the arena in poison clouds, and it is extremely effective. I mean, don't get me wrong, this does a ton of damage. And as long as like I'm not getting hit by a rime giant or like frost or lightning monsters. There really aren't that many lightning monsters, to be honest. As long as that doesn't happen, you're fine. Yeah, so there's two issues, I suppose, with this build. So the first is the frame rate, right? The second is visibility. So I have right here, right, all these clouds, and I have no idea what happens beneath this. There can be enemies that you don't see. There can be poison pools of enemies that are the same color. They're green as well. You have no idea that they're there. So sometimes I just die to something that is below my own poison clouds, because I just don't have any idea what's going on, really. But you know, honestly it's minor setbacks, because this is really one of the most fun builds that I've played in a while. I mean, just look at this, right? 10 frames per second, sure, but it's an amazing build, really. Leveling super smooth, right? You can equip this weapon at level 18. I mean, that's insane, right? You really have to only hit these enemies a few times, and then the poison does the rest. Your scorpion is like a one-man army with, well, I suppose like 3 little minions. The scorpion does tons of damage, right? And it's relatively safe as well. The reach of Serpent Strike is pretty big. You can hit enemies from very far away if you need to. Have you tried it out with the pools of poison? The pools of poison on what skill exactly? But here you see, for example, what happens when I basically hit an entire group. There's no way of telling, but there must be like 8 or 9 poison pools over here at that point in time. It's just all over the place, right? Pools of poison. Is that a Serpent Strike thing or what? Oh, is that this? The fishes? Oh, I think you mean this, right? The puddle? And the miasma? I did, actually. So, Xinth, do you mean the scorpion? Oh, have you tried not using the pools now for the totems? For frame rate purposes. Yeah, then it runs pretty well. yeah, if you get the... if you get rid of the pools of the poison, yeah, it runs pretty well. So if it's really a problem, you can do that. But yeah, you will lose some damage, right? But I don't really mind. But honestly, yeah, this is not for everyone. But I feel that these puddles of poison, they just require a bit of work because, like I said, they got a few issues with them. And it's not only performance, it's also like visuals. I mean, you can't actually almost see your own totems, right? Because they're sort of like buried in this pool of poison. So, yeah. I think this needs a bit of work. That's like a nemesis for me. The Rhyme Giant. I just let my Scorpion take care of that. And he usually does, by the way. Scorpion is extremely strong. And what's kind of nice about this build as well is that you're sort of in the middle of the action. So you're also in the front line, basically doing the damage. And you have to, because it gives you your buffs, right? If I don't attack, I don't have the dodge rating that I think that I need to survive. But look, there's like 5 massive scorpions attacking a super small tiny scorpion, like a baby scorpion from my pet. And even the baby scorpions, they're extremely powerful actually. But with a few small tweaks, especially when leveling, right? Because when leveling, you don't have this poison pool thing going. Also because it's like sort of like the end of the tree. So normally when leveling, you wouldn't really have this. But you could definitely pick up the poison totems when leveling. It is a super smooth build to level. Like I said, you can get the main weapon for this build, which you will never really change because it's just so good. I mean, this unique is made for this build, right? You're not gonna swap that out. So for leveling, you know, you just get your Serpent Strike, you get a few totems that help to back you up, and as soon as you get into endgame, the build really only gets stronger and stronger. And I haven't really even used my Entangling Roots because I've just been talking. But let me also use Entangling Roots, and then you can really see sort of like how ridiculous this build is, right? So here this is, by the way, my small poison, my small scorpion over there, killing like 8 massive worms. So you can also cast Entangling Roots just over here. It slows down everyone, right? It heals you, it restores my mana, and Yeah, it's very strong. Right? It's very strong. I played a character like this with a poison bear instead of scorpion. Yeah, yeah, there's definitely variations. Yeah, so the bear can do well with retaliation, right? And the bear can summon or can cast a bunch of thorns as well. Yeah, definitely true. I know that Rhymes did a small build guide or a build impression about sort of like this build, but he covered the bear version. So if I remember correctly, like he went with the bear. I'm not sure he took the entangling roots, maybe. Entangling roots are extremely strong though. I mean, you just put them out, and like look at my mana regeneration just from entangling roots, and then everything is slowed, and you have a heal. It heals my minions. It basically does everything, right? It's already been nerfed, but not enough. This skill is way too strong, right? Yeah, so the playstyle is basically this, right? You put out your entangling roots, and yeah, then you just go into battle. Start poking them with your unique pole arm. You automatically create a bunch of totems. My entangling roots, at least the way that I spec'd it, it doesn't last like super long or anything, but it definitely does the job. And yeah. And then of course there's like just the fact that this is poison. Like all of this poison adds up in stacks and is massive. Like you do massive damage. Not so much against like smaller and large groups, but single target damage gets pretty insane real fast. Level 74 as well. We're pretty high level. I mean, this is not like level 50 arena anymore. It's these guys are, you know, they're doing decent damage. They have resistances. Definitely. Oh. Definitely one of the most fun builds that I played in a while, honestly. And you can also definitely expect a video on this at some point in time. I am just kind of curious. I think I'll put out the video before the next patch is live. But just look at the health of this guy, right? Like just look at how much poison is like actually ticking over there. That guy is getting so many stacks of poison. It's kind of insane, really. Yeah, so I'm just kind of wondering if I should put out this build before the next patch, because I kind of expect and maybe hope as well that that is very dangerous. Yeah, I kind of expect and sort of hope that poison gets nerfed. And I think honestly, what's the skill called? Eter's, no, it's not Eter's Blessing. The roots, the entangling roots, that should probably get nerfed as well. It's just so incredibly strong. It's kind of insane, honestly. And then that would mean that this build is suddenly, you know, is basically viable for like what, for 2 weeks, maybe. So I'm kind of curious what they do with it. So I just might keep the well, I'll definitely keep the character, but I'll keep the character around and then see in a couple of weeks when the patch hits what happens. And yeah. I can't really remember what I was doing over here. We get more healing, more totems. I think I wanted to get to yeah, this. If you control exactly one companion, you are granted increased armor and protections. Now that's 50%, which is decent, right? It's kind of questionable if it's worth it though. But yeah, probably. And then the healing totem? I mean... yeah, healing totem is probably useless. What else do we have? Shall we do some leech? Some attunement maybe? This doesn't skill. We can do some leech. Yeah, sure. Let's do a bit of leech. I'm not totally sure if that 50% is worth all the points I'm spending here, but I think I'm sort of done spending in my other tree. But yeah, the passes, we'll see. Now, what you can also see, at least in the icons you can see this, is that I took literally 1 point into the poisonous snake from Serpent Strike. So Serpent Strike also allows you to summon a serpent, and you can see it. We got like this small snake running around. It's once again another minion that does more poison damage. So in total we have about like 5 sort of like minions that are not totems that do a bunch of poison damage. And we summon all these totems that also do poison damage. It's just poison damage all over the place. And damage has not been an issue really since level 15 or something. The main issue is defenses, right? I just can't really get any defenses in terms of elemental protections on the tree. So you have to get either gear for that, or just to say like, well, you know, maybe with this build I don't really care too much. I'm getting up to 77% dodge, you know. We're glancing block capped, we're crit capped, or crit avoidance capped. Maybe I don't really care too much about those protections anymore. At some point though, it will result in you being one shot by some sort of like ice shard. And unfortunately the real, let's say, good totems and totem synergy is too high up in the tree of Shaman to make use of. So yeah, I think inherent to this build will be some sort of like weaker defense, which is fair, you know. It is the main drawback, and there is not really a way to remedy it. Yeah, you can mess around with gear a bit, but your gear is not gonna be like significantly better than my gear. Sure, you know, you can get a couple of hundred additional protections over there, but yeah, it's definitely the main weak point of this build, which sort of makes it balanced, I guess. It's just that if you see how fast you're killing bosses with this, or just enemies in general, it's a little ridiculous, I guess, right? Yeah, and if we're leveling, then what kind of affixes between dots boost poison damage? Yeah, so that's the funny thing. I don't really have any poison affixes or dot affixes. Hey Lena, how are you doing? Yeah, so I'll show you my gear after these waves are done. But my gear is purely defensive. There's hardly any poison damage on my gear. It is all from the tree and the skills and just from like how powerful poison is these days. That's what I mean, like my gear is basically fully defensive gear. It can be improved a little bit, sure, but not like much. Yeah, and it's also ironic, if you would really want to, you could just like sort of like massively avoid all enemies and let your minions do the work. And actually not auto cast your totems, right? But just like actively cast your totems if you would really want to. I was wondering if it's possible to make poison work on warpath. I mean, if you have the plague bearer staff, then probably, right? Because that thing is insanely good. Yeah. But if you look at my gear, right? This is a bit of leech, glancing blow, crit avoidance, protections, some minion stuff, crit avoidance. This is the only thing I think that has poison on it. So 33% increase poison damage. Fatality, glancing blow, dodge, health. This is a unique with poison damage. It's a lot. 67% chance on hit. Increased melee attack speed, increased dodge, slow on hit. This is an amazing belt for a build like this. Minion stuff, a lot of minion stuff. Fatality, dodge, fire protection, damage dealt to mana before health. Minion health, glancing blow, crit avoidance, more glancing blow. So there's nothing really in my gear apart from the weapon, but this build is built around this weapon, right? Or rather, this unique is made for this build. You got this thing, you got the viper tail. Those are the only two damage items in here. The rest is purely defensive. But it's enough, right? It's enough for a successful poison build because I've had so many things that do poison damage these days. Yeah, so I think I've never tried it, so let's be clear about that. I never tried a warpath poison build because as far as I know right now, there's no real synergy, right? You don't have any poison passives, I don't think. Maybe some damage over time passives, but I even wonder if that's true. With skills, hardly any synergy, right? If any synergy, like are there any poison nodes on a sentinel? On sentinel skills? Nothing comes to mind. So in that sense, it's not super logical, right? In that sense, you're like, well, would that be a great idea? But the plague bearer staff is so powerful and can apply 3 poison stacks on hit if you invest in some dot damage on your gear and a bunch of attack speed, because you want as much attack speed as possible, right? And then you start going warpath, and you just make sure that you don't run out of mana with warpath and that you have as much attack speed as possible. Yeah, then sure, you can probably make it work. But I mean, we can maybe have we can maybe try it out. We can try it out after this character. Because I have a warpath character, I'm pretty sure, and he's useless. And I also recently picked up another plague bearer. I found another one. Well, we can respec that dude and maybe give it a go. See what happens. See how many poison stacks you can inflict. The guy will need a bit of gear, but it should be okay. Abysmal echoes. Yeah, it's damage over time, but it's not poison, right? Right. Yeah, you have time rot as well. So you can synergize damage over time, but you cannot really synergize poison in the sense with. Yeah, poison doesn't really exist in that archetype. So any damage over time you get will be applied to poison. It will also be applied to some of the Void Knight skills. So like Rhymes is saying, Abysmal Echoes, Time Rot, Void Rifts that you create, right? Those also have damage over time. Yeah, we can... let's see how far we get with this character. And then we can try it out. But then we'll start with warpath. To just figure out like how many poison stacks can we actually apply. Sort of like a ballpark of what we could do there. Because if you can't apply enough stacks, then yeah, that's gonna be an issue regardless, right? And then I think you would want probably a one-handed weapon. No, of course not. No, you want a two-handed weapon, you want the Plague Bearer. So you want Warpath with a two-handed skill tree. So you can get quite some mana efficiency if you want to. You can use Lias Signet to be glancing blow capped. That's not, so then you don't have to worry about that. I don't think you're gonna be crit avoidance capped, but you could be. I can just transfer a little bit of my gear from this character to that person. We'll have a look. We'll have a look. It could be interesting for sure. Now I have to say that my character who I'm gonna do this with is already level 83. The guy totally sucks, by the way. It's a horrible character, really. Because Warpath Warpath was nerfed. So this guy used to be pretty good. Warpath was nerfed, and yeah, now he's not so good anymore. And I tried all sorts of things with him on Warpath, but yeah. Warpath needs a bit of love in the, let's say, base damage department, in my opinion. Warpath is a skill that currently on base damage is severely lacking. You can make a decent ignite build out of it, you can make a decent like void damage over time build out of it. But like any direct crit damage or like front-loaded hit damage out of Warpath, really tough to pull off. But this is what's so strong about this build. I can lay down the roots, the entangling roots. This is strong for any build, by the way. I mean, You could spec into the roots if you want for the totem build that I just played. You can spec into the roots honestly for any primalist build. And it is just so strong because you do everything with this. Slow the enemies, regenerate health, regenerate mana. Is there more? There's even more. You can even poison them, buff your allies. In a single spec, yeah? That's not all the options you have. You can do that in like 20 points. It's pretty crazy. Ah, this is my favorite arena. Just because it looks so nice. In terms of visibility, it's probably the worst because I never have any idea what's going on here. You got like if you stand over here, you've got like the light shining like through the roof or something, but it sort of like blurs the vision for the entire arena over there. This is kind of not great. You have it over here as well, right? You see like all these like beams of light. It's very pretty, but it's not great for vision. This is probably the best spot to be because you at least can sort of see what's going on. I'm kind of wondering where the enemies are, by the way. Alright, here. They almost kill me. The roots don't affect flying enemies though, by the way. Which makes perfect sense, but it's a nice touch. But despite the lag, which is pretty severe, honestly, but despite all that, pretty solid build. I really haven't taken all that much damage, and if you pay attention to what's going on, which you need to do anyway in Arena, right? It doesn't really matter which build you're playing. Like for example, these guys, it doesn't really matter if you have cold resistance. If you get hit by 2 of those beams at like wave 80, you're dead, right? It doesn't matter if you have got 60% cold resistance. Alright, good. Let's just try and get a bit of leech. That could be another sort of like more defensive layer here. That at least gives me back a bit of health. The main thing is that I'm not doing a lot of physical damage. Because I'm using a level 18 weapon. So the base damage, the base physical damage of this weapon is extremely low. But that's not why we got this thing equipped. So those guys are also dangerous. They like roll out, they roll towards you, and then they breathe fire. 1 or 2 of those guys basically instantly kill me, because I have very little to no elemental resistance. But like I said, all other enemies are mostly fine, like void resistance is okay. I'm now regularly using, as you can hopefully see, the roots, right? So I just run away from them. You just like run away from them, you use the roots, and then suddenly they're basically stuck, right? they can't really do much. And it's not that their movement only is slowed. No, everything is slowed, right? Their action speed is slowed. They attack with like maybe one attack in what, like 6 seconds or something. What you start noticing around this level is that the health pools are increasing quite a bit. But that's what's nice about poison, is that the initial build up takes a bit longer. But because poison scales so well these days, it doesn't really matter how much health an enemy has. Because at some points, like, these ticks are just like ticking. You're just applying those stacks, and then it really doesn't matter anymore if it's got like 1 or 2 million health in that sense, because it's going down, right? It doesn't matter, because you are doing so much damage. And for your minions it's the same, by the way. I mean, I am fighting along with them right now, because otherwise it's also really boring, right? You don't have to. You could make this build about like basically being much more remote and much more safe, and not really using your serpent strike maybe, but or maybe in more like extreme cases to summon the serpent strike, or what is it? To summon the serpent minion or something. Who's gone now, by the way, but he'll come back. We'll resummon him by attacking. But you can choose to not be part of the battles and take more of a remote approach. It will take a lot longer to get through the waves, but it will be a lot safer. It's also a lot more boring, I think. Because then it will be more like this, right? You're just walking away from them, and then yeah, you probably basically just wait until your minions or your poison clouds are taking care of business. Perfectly viable approach. But a little boring. There was a frostworm there, but we didn't really even see it. Yeah, the main issue is, at later waves at least, is that the frame rate and the lag is probably gonna get you killed, because it's not only that you get like, let's say 11 frames per second, which is just not a lot. You also definitely start noticing input lag, and whenever you take a potion, it just takes a little bit to register that, whereas normally that's not the case, right? Normally when you take a potion, you just instantly take it. There's never a delay. There's no animation locking or anything that prevents it, right? With all this stuff on the ground, and like the game having to think an awful lot about all these poison totems, also that is slowing down. And not that my reaction speed is, you know, amazing. I'm not claiming that by any means. But I do notice that the time it takes to actually get potions and that stuff, it's also slowing down. Yeah, and then you're dead out of the blue, eh? Yeah, so the Beal Queen apparently does physical and cold. I honestly didn't know. A wave 105 though. I think if you get better gear with at least a little bit of protections on there, you might be able to survive a lot longer, right? That's not bad. And yeah, most of all, super fun build to play. Also, if you play this in a monolith, we can do a small monolith run here. Apparently we already conquered 19. So let's say we give them crit chance, because it doesn't matter, right? We're crit capped anyway. We can give them as much crit chance as they want. Here you also see that this is rather smooth. It's a kiting style that works really well with monoliths, because you can leave behind your minions and your totems just to like finish off basically whatever you started. Obviously here the guys really don't have that much health. Soul cage is always dangerous, right? You always need to watch out for those guys. But pretty smooth. And no ramp up whatsoever. Like there's always a bunch of totems active at the very least. Minions also, they don't really die, because we gave them gain 20 health on hit, and we gave them a bunch of attack speed. These guys, they just don't die. I have honestly yet to see my Scorpion die in the arena ever since I changed it to that node. It just doesn't happen. We got a little bit of minion stats on the gear as well. Not excessive, but at least a couple of 100% additional health. That certainly helps. Yeah, but that's a monolith run. And you can do more, you know, you can just keep completing this. That's usually a decent idea, because even if you die now, it counts as a completed run and you can just do the next one, because you already completed the objective, right? But it doesn't matter if I die right now, so you might as well, you know, complete the level, maybe open up a chest. I know there's a chest here at the end, might contain some valuable stuff. We can have a look. So usually here at the end, I think 100% of the time, honestly, there's a chest. Yeah, there it is. And those things can contain massive amounts of loot. Not this time. It's a bit of a gamble, I suppose. This one will be pretty nice. Alright. So, a warpath, a poison warpath, guys. So I have a plague bearer here, but it's not great. Like, it rolled okay-ish, like 221. But the increased damage over time is just not amazing. I'll log into my low life lich and take that plague bearer. I think it's better. So that one we need, right? We would definitely need this. We probably want the wing guards. I mean, 32% increased melee attack speed. Doesn't matter that we can't deal crits because we're gonna build a poison guy, right? So I don't care about crits. And then let's get the defensive stuff here. So just a second. Do I already have one of those? I do. Let's take that one. What else did we say? The wing guards, right? So put those over there. So let's get the defensive gear in, right? Not that. But probably this. I don't think I care too much about Glancing Blow. That's a lot of uniques and idols. Yeah, that's how I'm organized here. So I have this is one stash of uniques. This is the second one with the set items too. And then I have for each class I have a bunch of idols that I'm messing around with. And whenever I need a specific type of idol for a build, or I figure out like, oh wow, this idol is actually really good, I usually have a few laying around. Yeah, it helps a lot for build guides and stuff, right? I think so we don't really care about the glancing blow. I figured out we only care about the crit strike avoidance, right? For the rest we don't really care because we're just gonna use Elias Signet. So crit strike avoidance, we take the boots and we take the gloves, which is a bit of a shame, which means that we can't have the melee attack speed, but it's okay. You need more stash. I do need more stash. I said this before. I am willing to pay. I'm willing to pay for stash tabs actually. But yeah, it's not gonna happen. Paying for stash tabs because Sarno explicitly said in the last post about the patch that in the future microtransactions will not be used for the stash tabs. So yeah, interesting, right? I think that's interesting. So we have Kilgrim, who's a paladin. I don't really know if a paladin is the right class here, but it doesn't really matter, I think. Is this the person that what is this guy doing? Okay, he's all over the place, but at least he's got warpath, right? Not the warpath that I want though, but this guy sucks anyway. Like it's horrible, honestly. Okay, we'll figure a little bit out how we go over here. So let's say that we want to be using a plague bearer staff. Definitely Urzel's Pride, I'm pretty sure, right? We need that mana regen. Elias Signet for the glancing blow cap. And then let's take the items that I just that I just took, right? So we got crit strike avoidance, crit strike. I'm assuming that there's like crit strike avoidance, and then these things are they going to change the options so that people don't always need to fully log out? I don't know, but it would make sense to me, right? I mean, Path of Exile, for example, has a return to character selection and return to, I think, login is the second option. And here we only have return to login. So yeah, hopefully it would save a bit of time. I don't think it's like too annoying, but yeah. All right, let's take this ring as well, right? We're just gonna bid all out with the rings. So we get armor. I don't really have any dot damage. Let's get some poison on hit. Like poison. Do we have any other poison stuff? Poison protection and chance to swarm of bees. What's this? Poison damage is taken as physical. That's fine. Yeah, okay. What's this? Fire damage over time? Yeah, we're not doing that. Summer wolves. Poison protection. Yeah, okay. So damage over time. Yeah. Let's see. Physical damage over time. There's so little synergy with this. Time rod, mana efficiency for void spells, echo damage. This is crazy, by the way. This is the only idol that I have from this, but look at this. 144% increased echo damage when a skill echoes. What? Close to perfectly rolled as well. Yeah, I can already see that this is going to be not easy, guys. I need to get more poison damage on gear. There are 1 or 2 square poison damage idols for Sentinel. For Sentinel, huh? What do I have now? Crit, warpath area, damage reflected. The warpath area, we're gonna keep this. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, the universal ones. Yeah. I don't have universal ones yet, but you're right. Yes. Why do I have half health, by the way? Is that a bug or am I? What happened? What happened? Oh, it's the plague bear stuff, isn't it? Ah, that's okay, I suppose. That's okay. So nothing is going to synergize. Like how are we ever going to make this work, right? Well, like what do I even have now? I have crit strike avoidance 40% already. Oh wait. I can get rid of this, right? And then slot in I want the attack speed here. Okay. So so we're only getting up to 1300, 600 poison, 600 poison. That's not enough. like by that's not enough by a long shot. How are we gonna get more poison on this? I can gamble. Alright, we can gamble a bit. But what do we really have in terms of options here? Not that much. Like this can go away if we want to. Alright, let's gamble for some rings, relics, and amulets. But apart from that, I really don't have many options, because this is fine. Alright, let's see. Gamble, accessories. Doesn't really matter what I pick over here. Nah, doesn't really matter. Let's try and get some poison. Poison, damage over time, ring of shield, shield per second. Yeah, so we can do the... we can do some of the what are these things called? The sigils, right? You can do that. Yeah, we'll have a look at the passives. We'll just like respec the entire thing. But let's first get a little bit of gear. I don't really care about the implicit in this case. I kind of care maybe about the amulet though, because the jade amulet would be pretty nice. But yeah. Fatality is not bad either. A bit of fatality, it's fine. Alright, what do we get? Damage over time. That's better than nothing. Right. Lightning damage, strong attack damage, elemental damage, necrotic, strength, glancing blow, spell damage, int, nothing. Damage over time, necro, physical and damage over time. Yeah, I suppose. Void damage, damage over time from minions, void damage, freeze rate, poison damage, chance to find potions, attunement, phase and damage over time. Yeah, I guess. Damage over time. Okay. Can we put some poison over here as well? Is that also a prefix? It is also a prefix. Alright, I'll take it. Let's it broke, but it's okay. The 30 and 39 is better than nothing. Alright, we can try and remove the cold damage here. It's the wrong one. Alright, that's the right one. Poison. Poison damage, prefix. We'll take it, right? We'll take it. 30 and 49 instead of this unique ring. And then the amulet. So it's got fizz and damage. Fizz and damage over time is fine. So we'll do that. Fizz. I mean, we do fizz, right? It's okay. Is there anything we want as a prefix? Or, sorry, suffix? Like anything that is valuable here? Probably mana efficiency, right? Okay, it's fine. Okay. Now. Not totally sure what happened, but the health loss is gone. I think because we got some health regen. Protection's pretty bad currently. So we're gonna respec this guy completely and figure out what we would like to do. I would love, by the way, that there would be a respec all button. Sarno, you still there? A respec all button, please. Get rid of all your points, please. 10% glancing blow? What? What do you mean, Ben? %, glancing blow is really low. Yeah. We will have 100% when we're casting warpath. No worries. 5 points in fourth card too. What am I picking in fourth card? Block chance. Now we'll have 110%. Yeah, it's because of a unique. So there's a unique in the game called Elias Signet, and that unique gives you 100% glancing blow defense when channeling. And channeling is what we will do. Alright, so we're just gonna take this from scratch and see. I think this is gonna be pretty horrible, honestly, but at least we tried. Why can't I respec this? Once masteries have unlocked. Oh, really? You must retain at least 20 points invested in the bank. Okay, that's fine. So, what do we want? Melee Fizz? Not sure. Strength? Health regen? Vitality? Armor? Iron Mastery? Yeah, let's go with Iron Mastery. It increases damage, right? Poisonous damage. And this is overall damage. It seems pretty good. Retribution is also really not bad, by the way. We don't care about the retribution damage, but the fact that you hit. This is another hit. This is not a poison stack. Alright. Alright, we don't care about armor. We really don't care about block chance either. So we want. When he are we gonna get hit quite a bit? Yeah, potentially, but yeah, let's how many points would we have, right? 8 in here. I think 7 in here. And then 5 in here somewhere. In probably over there. Yeah, I took one too much. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm gonna get hit too much. I'm not sure how good retribution is going to be in this state. So we still got 20, right? 5, 7, and 8. Oh, and let's get rid of these 5. Alright, that's the base class. So now let's search for damage over time. If that is anywhere in these trees. No, it's not. I don't think I even have to search for this with poison. No. Okay. How about damage? Just damage. Not physical damage. Physical, fire damage, damage granted. You have increased damage and healing effectiveness if you have healed yourself or an ally recently. Okay. This is also flat damage, and that's fire damage, and but movement speed is okay. And more damage if you've recently received a stack of bleeding from penance. Yeah, it's a bit far-fetched, isn't it? That's a bit far-fetched. Because I think mostly, I don't think that like my physical damage is gonna matter at all if we're trying to make a poison warpath build. So I think most of this stuff is just going to be into the defense department with some damage nodes, because that's the only thing that actually contributes anything, right? Throwing attack, melee attack, throwing attack, reduce hit damage, yeah. That's a lot of damage. Melee phase, future strike chance on hit. Huh. Yeah, it's only void damage. Okay, void damage, leech. Leech is not bad. Increase damage on a recent kill. Okay, that's good though. That's good. Yeah. Derek, we're gonna try that. We'll get to the skills in a bit. This is also increased damage. It's not too bad. Purple Petal is subscribed to the channel. Thanks so much, buddy. I appreciate it. Right, let's do these 10, right? Because that just has to be good, and then just damage. Okay, and I think that's most of the damage that we can get out of this tree. All right. Yeah, and then here there was, I think, nothing. No. So then we're gonna go over here. So what are we picking, right? I guess block is not bad. 5% block. Right, and then we heal, right? When you block, heal yourself. This is gonna go well with prayer over here. We can do Derek's shield, ring of shield as well. So let's do a bit of healing. Yeah, why not? What else do we want? Divine bolts? Yeah, we do want that actually, because those are hits. Those count as hits. All right. Where else do we want to go? A bit of health, blind chance. Suppose. Do we want to get there? No, we don't want to get there. Yeah, so I don't care about the holy symbol, but these are pretty decent. It looks cool too. I mean, it's worth something as well, right? Here, you have increased damage and healing if you've healed yourself. Right, so 10 points in that. It heals allies. Yeah, I don't really care. We need the crit avoidance because we just picked that. That doesn't matter. What else do we want? Divine Essence. Heal yourself. Oh, it grants all sorts of stuff. Maybe not bad. We can do bleed chance, but I don't think that matters all that much either. Yeah. Yeah, let's do... I mean, why not, right? And then more damage, because this is flat damage. And that's fire damage and movement speed. Yeah, I don't really care too much about that. Okay, so 24% damage, health, mana. Mana's good too. I don't think I'm gonna waste points on movement speed, honestly. Yeah, this seems a bit far-fetched. So what else are we taking? Like some defense, I suppose, right? Bit of vitality or something? How is our defense looking? Yeah, vitality is not that great. What? Vitality? Here. 7 out of 8 vitality. Alright. Amazing build. Guys. Amazing build. Alright, Ring of Shields. I think you have... you're talking about this, right? Armor on heal, heal protections on heal, block protection on heal. And now we are specced into... fire, I think. Yeah, it's specced into fire. Alright. Well, we're gonna have to level this a bit. Shield reflect. Nah, doesn't matter. Potion heal shields. Nah, doesn't matter. All of this fire stuff doesn't matter. We're not fire anymore. Fire aura. Is that a hit? Could be a hit, but it's a hit of minions, right? So it doesn't matter. Would a hit from a Ring of Shields proc my poison? I don't think so, because it's not a hit of me, right? Does anyone know? Yeah, the +1, where did I take the +1? Those are, where are those things? Here. Yeah, I have the +3, I have the +2. Yeah, those we have, but then we just gotta get over here, maybe a bit of mana efficiency. Do we care about the rotation distance? Not really, I suppose. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Rebuke can probably not. That's despecialized rebuke. Is there anything that we would want instead? Lunge. Let's do a lunge. The sigils. The sigils are global melee damage. Damage granted per active sigil 24%, so we can do that. Cast speed, heal mount. Maximum. That's okay-ish, right? Holy aura. Elemental protection. Yeah, that's actually a typo. It is not elemental protections. This is elemental penetration. A typo. Attack speed is great. Crit chance is not great. Let's just get rid of that, right? Because we don't care about crit chance. Fist damage is maybe okay, but we should probably go, I don't know, health region or something. Health globe? Maybe. We can even get ward if we want. Inspiration? Cooldown recovery by 20%. Yeah, I'm not really casting spells though. But slow chance is good. We don't care about the physical damage either, honestly. Let's go full defensive on the hello? Oh, I can't do that anymore. Yeah, because I need the attack speed. That's fair. Okay, fine. And then warpath. But I need to respec this entire thing because I need to go to the two-handed skill, right? So I'm gonna completely ruin this tree, and it is also going to be relatively tricky, I feel, to level this up. Because I'm not doing any damage right now, I'm pretty sure. That's okay. How many points do I have? 9. 1, 2, 3. Area, another 1. Block chance, doesn't matter. I need the mana regen, right? I don't care about the block protection. I need to get 1 more point away from this. I guess respec 1 more of these. Okay, fine. So. Oh, we're steady. Okay, we're slowly losing mana. But it's fine, it's fine. Here, this is the live signet band that we were talking about. So, if you look at this, now it's 10%, now it's 110%. It gives me 100% glancing glow while channeling. Yeah, but protections are absolutely horrible. Okay, we're just gonna do one of these and suffer, guys. We'll be suffering a little bit, for sure. Where are all my skills anyway? So what happened here? I have a sigil, right? And I have what are my skills? Lunge, right? And then what was this again? Holy aura, sigil, ring of shields. Right, ring of shields. Ring of shields. Has to be, let's say over there. Shield rush, where is it? Ring of shields? I'm blind. I'm honestly blind. Where is ring of shields? Hello? Do I not have it because I am not spec'd into that? Yeah. No one saw that. Let's quickly get Ring of Shields. So let's get rid of those vitality nodes. Those 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like I said, guys, we'll cut this out later. It's fine. Increased armor when hit. Yeah, sure. Seems fine. Block chance. Yeah, block chance. Fine. Fine. Block chance. Ring of Shields. There we go. All right. Ring of Shields, and then Holy Aura. And we're going to at least put that on auto cast. Is there anything else I want to put on auto cast? Potentially Holy Aura, to be honest. Yeah, probably Holy Aura also. Okay, let's try another. Like I said, my damage is gonna be absolutely abysmal, and these are level 83 enemies, so this is not gonna go well. There's one thing that's for sure. It's just a question of like how bad is it going to be. All right, that's a regular chimera over there. How does autocast work? you have to assign your skills to some of the numpad keys, and then once you do, you have to enable. I'm out of mana? How am I out of mana? Oh, because I'm casting these spells. Oh. Oh. Okay, no more auto casting. And then once you do, you make sure that you have numlock enabled. You press a spell, not spell, press a num key. You release numlock so that it's not active anymore, and then the game thinks that you're constantly pressing one of the numpad keys. That is really not the greatest explanation I've ever done on live television, but that is roughly how it works. But otherwise, just Google it, because yeah, that's a lot easier. I need potions, guys. I hope you get the idea at the very least. Yeah, I'm gonna die quite a few times, guys, but I need the I need the skill points to turn this into something, right? Protections. Glancing blow when hit. Yeah, so basically you just like, I can show you, right? Settings, what's that? Input keys. So what I've done here, right? I've bound Q, W, E, R to keypad 1 to 4. And then normally, now let's say I want to cast, what would I want to cast? A sigil, right? I just press 1, right? And then there's my sigil. So if you hold 1 on the numpad key and then release numlock, I would be constantly casting sigils, and I would be out of mana, by the way. So yeah, that's how it works. It is pretty clever. You know, this damage, ironically, isn't even a whole lot worse than what I previously did. Because warpath is a terrible skill right now, and somehow I'm even getting war. I have no idea how that would be, but fine. I'm getting a little bit of war somehow. But it looks cool, right? With all the all the divine bolts. Yeah, but the poison is not horrible. Oh, a bone harvester. Well, we need to level up our skills, and then we can make a sort of like an assessment, I suppose, of this. But like I said, it's not gonna be great. Yeah. Poison warpath is new meta. No, poison warpath is most likely, Lena, going to be absolutely horrible. Yeah. But someone suggested it, and I thought, yeah, I mean, you know. Can give it a go. I mean, we got the money, we got the items, right? Might give it a try. Okay, so we're gonna get protections, right? I think slow and dodge, honestly. Right, is that not what we want? I think that's what we want. 1, 2. Sigils more damage at the very least. Right, we got a chance if someone want to kill. Do we want instant cast? Yeah, I think we do actually. Is there like anything that's good here? This could be a hit as well. Divine Flare. We could get rid of all of this. I like the last wish thing though. And then do the Divine Flare. And that it chains. It should poison, honestly. Right? It's a hit. It should be a hit. Let's try that. Let's just try that. So we're gonna get rid of all this. Do I care about the other maximum sigil? Not really. I'm using warpath. I'm never gonna have 4. I care about the duration though. Alright, let's try that. Put some points over there. Could be fun. We want heal mounts, right? And I suppose armor. Right, what do we want over here? Armor, strength. Don't care too much about strength. Yeah, the armor's good. Let me take a beer and enjoy the time streaming. How you doing, buddy? Hey, Trickster. Yeah, doing pretty good. The weekend has started, so that's always a good time, in my opinion. And by viewer suggestion, we're trying a poison warpath build on Paladin, which is probably the worst idea someone had in a pretty long time. And I don't refer to the guy suggesting it, but yeah, this is not easy, right? Making a warpath poison build, but we're trying to figure it out. So we're just leveling up a little bit. I'm trying, I guess, to get as much attack speed as possible, as many hits from all sorts of sources as if possible. There's obviously no synergy whatsoever with this, so yeah. But it's honestly not as bad as I thought it would be, or it could be. Because this can be a lot worse than it currently is. Like for arena, this is gonna suck, but yeah, it's a plague bearer. Eh? Will this be a new challenge? Give you a tricky build request? It could be. It could be. I'll accept the challenge if it makes at least a little bit of sense, right? I mean, if you ask me to make like a void-based primalist, yeah, that's just that's gonna be very hard. Like how are you gonna do that, right? But yeah, any other way, sure. Hey man, do you have a Sentinel build video? Do I have a Sentinel build video? You can check my build guides, and I should really remember this, but I think the command is !build. Die targets. So try it in chat. !build or !builds with an S. But I think I kept it. Yeah, and Nightbolt is super slow. Oh, there it is. That's pretty good. Pretty good. So you can see if there's a Sentinel build over there. I have one at least, which is a warpath build with bleed, but it's old. So I'm not totally sure how well that build is still doing. I'm pretty sure it is the same character that we're playing right now though. This is why I still have a warpath character. So let's do a bit of buffing over there. The sigils, yeah, let's go with the. Right, we can only have one sigil, but that's fine. I'll get one from killing people occasionally. Yeah, we'll do a divine flare. An explosive spell which deals fire damage to nearby enemies. Let's just see how this goes, right? Could be fun. Protections. Inspiration gens. Yeah, so I don't care about this. We go this route. And then the area is pretty good though. I kind of like the movement speed as well. I really only need, I think, one mana regen node over here to make it work. And yeah, I messed up my own elemental damage, but that's okay. So we do this, and then probably only one node over there, honestly. Health leech? Nah. Fine. We went the whole poison dot on items and got 1200 dot per second. Yeah, so I just tried the dummy, right? And we went to about that number, like, and that was before we actually respec and stuff. So I think you can do a bit more than that, but that's on a dummy. I mean, and the dummy doesn't have resistances, right? So when we're not on the dummy, you can sort of see it over here. My hits are, well, what are my hits? 40. I'm hitting for 40, and the damage is, well, what exactly? The dot damage is about 400? 500, 600. If we somehow get a bunch of attack speed one way or another, maybe we can increase attack speed a bit more. Wow, the clear speed. Yeah, I know, man. I know. It is it's one of the best builds out there. Definitely gonna make a video on this one. Happy Friday, Thyworm. Happy Friday, Mr. Cal. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Yeah. Nah, it's a bit of a meme build. We're trying poison warpath. And I'm just trying to get as much as attack speed and hits as I can. And that's basically it. But honestly, it is not as bad as I thought it would be. I mean, yeah, it's pretty bad, but I thought it was going to be worse, honestly. Okay. But we're still building, guys, so give it time. Here, mana regen. And then we go with, leave it the movement speed. We could even go with the cascading orb, right? Oh, but that's not damage over time, is it? No, that's not damage over time. Is there an attack speed node here? Move speed. No, there's no attack speed. 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 Cast speed? No. This one I already have, right? It's over there. Attack speed. Here, maybe? No. But maybe this divine flare thing could do something, I guess. We could have a chain, mana cost on chain, 6. What else does this thing do? Hit damage? That doesn't matter. Ailments? Nah, that doesn't matter. Alright, let's have this thing chain. Pretty tanky and fun, it seems. Yeah, it's fun. Tanky, not too sure yet. It might be pretty bad. Oh wow, was that the thing? It's not bad, right? This is a pretty big explosion, honestly. Look at it. Okay, but we cleared this monolith. Yeah, so in terms of staffs, like we have the plague bearer, but we don't. It's not even like an amazing plague bearer, honestly. You know what? We're gonna quickly swap it around and get my good plague bearer out there. Hey Alessandro, how are you doing, man? Because I think Nancy has my good plague bearer. Was it Nancy? Or was it... No, Nancy was the necromancer. We had a leech. Where's my leech? It's not Patty. It's, oh yeah, it's natrium chloride, yes. Yeah, god damn it, Nancy. No, it was not Nancy. It's natrium chloride, here. There she is. This is a better staff, if I'm not mistaken, right? 225, 57% increased damage over time. Yeah, it's a bit better. It's a bit better. Alright. Yeah, we got a whole family. And we got some of the some are featured in a build guide. Like natrium chloride. That's the low life lich. Alright, let's pick up the better plague bearer. Yeah, but this is really almost as far as we can go. There's not much more synergy to be had here. Bloody hell. Well, let's go with the glancing blow. We don't want to give them 100% increased health. We already have enough trouble as it is killing these guys. Alright. Well, if anything, we're just gonna go for full movement speed here. Oh, look at the damage, guys. Oh, makes me very sad inside. A bit of the only thing I don't understand currently is how am I getting ward? Somehow I'm getting ward. I don't get it. What is currently giving me ward here? I'm dying. It's the poison. Little spiders are okay. Ah, this totally messes you up like the... Okay, I was reading chat. Natrium chloride is not a poison. How did you come up with that name? Well, it is, it burns, right? Like, it's acidic, right? So, yeah. That's how I came up with the name. I'm not saying it is scientifically correct, guys. No, I always found it like a fascinating substance, seeing as it like could burn through tables and stuff when I was like younger. Natrium chloride salt. You're right, actually. You're right. Yeah, you're right. Natrium chloride is salt. In my mind, it was something else. I actually used to be pretty decent at chemics. Well, you're not gonna believe that now, but I was actually pretty decent at camping. I guess I had something else in mind. What is it an HCL? HCL. Yeah. It's a good travel build. Yeah, it's gonna be a better travel build, I think, because we still have a few nodes to go in, like in movement speed. But it's pretty terrible otherwise. I mean, we're killing them, you know, in the end. Yeah, HCL. I called her salt by accident. It's fine. It does poison them, by the way. Here. Look. I mean, it's not much in terms of poison stacks. So, but that does count, apparently. We can do a little bit of like quality of life here if we want, by making sure that we have enough mana, and then keep casting, you know, the shields and the aura and proc it like that. But yeah, it's pretty horrible. Maybe if you because what who was just saying that maybe maybe Derek was saying that you have these small idols, right, that give you poison damage. I just checked, and stances for Sentinel work like aura and PoE. Yeah, I could, yeah, I think I know what you're saying. So I could enable the ephemeral stance, right? Turn it on and change skill and still works. Ah, also like that, yeah. But this is gonna completely ruin me if I put on the ephemeral? If I turn on the ephemeral stance. Because you lose 37% more mana from mana drain effects, which is my warpath. So you can't, well, unless you have like a godly amount of mana regen for some reason, you can't really use that skill. My Cyclone Impale build killing bosses in 1.5 seconds. Yeah, but like Cyclone Impale is a good build, right? This is a bad build. I mean, it's fun to look at, I suppose. It looks kind of fancy, right? Kind of. I like the Divine Ire. I'm not sure it's called Divine Ire, but the Divine Bolts. Divine Bolts it's called. Which could be kind of nice. Like if I would turn this into a fire build, right? It might work. Like might work. You should have Juggernaut stance, but that's even less movement speed. So it's a big sacrifice. Okay, let's go with chain. It's working if you take holidays to clear the map. Yeah. 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 No, I got what you meant. Yeah. And then, you know, if I would be tanky, you could say, well, you know, you're not doing much damage, but at least you're tanky. but not tanky either. These guys, exactly. These guys are also just killing me, right? Yeah, no, this is pretty bad, guys. It's pretty bad. I mean, it was a nice try, I suppose, but no, we're we're gonna try something else. All right, let's see. Let's put this stuff back, because if I want to make this work, I should probably go like the ignite route. The main issue with ignite is that it doesn't really scale. That's really the main issue. So let's put these pieces back, because that's the pieces that I need. That one. Those are the ones to be crafted. Any other pieces that I took? I don't think so. I need to keep my character somewhat organized, otherwise like creating videos is an absolute mess. That's fun to try new things. Yeah, totally agree. Totally. I don't mind this. I mean, don't get me wrong. But it's pretty clear that this is not gonna work. We will forget this ever happened. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's okay. Shall we give the guy at least a weapon? It's kind of sad otherwise, right? Yeah, let's give him the undisputed. Alright. So what else can we do? We got a bunch of more characters, guys. What is fun to showcase? I think Dave is probably pretty good. No, it was Timmy. But this is the zoomer build. So what you can do with Timmy is that here you can autocast everything basically. So you press 1, and then you press 3, and you press 4, and then you just go. There we go. Does Palpatine have a lightsaber? No, not yet. Not yet. But this is Timmy, guys, and like Timmy is pretty fast. And whenever I feel like doing something that is still last Epoch, but I just want to farm a little bit, or like just be like a bit of like brain dead stuff, or I need some. Maybe I need some crafting materials for whatever reason, or idols. I don't know. It's a very hypothetical situation that I would need crafting materials, but fine. Then we have Timmy. Timmy is fun. Look at this. This just makes me feel good. Yeah, it's kind of like Blade Vortex. It's really like Blade Vortex, honestly. Yeah. It's a shame that you don't have a headhunter, otherwise you could, you know, reel in the headhunter over here, steal the modifiers, and then at some point in time only see the feet of the character. But yeah. Very true. Yeah. The headhunter. I follow Q-Dog. Q-Dog stream, and he also followed me for the last Epoch content. And so I was in his stream the other day, and I was talking about the next league, right? When the next league is coming up, and then what the league goal would be for next league. So it said like I might try next league to farm up for a headhunter, right? Because I never really played with a headhunter. I never really have the time to like farm up that much currency, and then the inspired learnings and the whole thing, right? Because you need so much stuff for that. And he said, "What, Thyworm? You never played a headhunter?" I said, "No, man, I never played a headhunter." I said, "Hit me up after stream. I'll give you a headhunter and the whole set." And so he gave me the whole thing, everything, like the boots, the gloves, the headhunter. Yeah, he's got a headhunter the second day of each league. Yeah. So he gave me the headhunter, and everything basically that goes with it. But I have no idea what to do with it, right? I don't know how a headhunter really works. I mean, I'm just watching people play headhunters, but I have no idea how this stuff works. So I just looked up like some sort of headhunter build, and he linked me to like a build, and I said, "Ah, yeah, fine. Let me try and figure this out." So I just took like a random PoE ninja build and spec'd into that, and like bought a bunch of stuff. He gave me some currency too, bought a bunch of stuff, and then tried it out, right? And I was like, it's just not really working. What am I doing wrong, right? It didn't really, the character didn't really like pick up that many mods, and I was like, how does this work? So like a few days later, I tried a bunch of maps, and sometimes he completely popped off, right? Was like super fast, super large, did all sorts of damage, and the other times I was like struggling, constantly dying. I was like no idea what's going on. It was not like Q-Dog played Headhunter and Juice builds, right? I was like, okay, I'm not Q-Dog, I'm doing something wrong, right? I messaged him in game. I said, Q-Dog, buddy, there's I'm messing this up one way or another, and I don't have enough League of Legends, Path of Exile knowledge to figure this out, right? I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And he looks at my build, he said, "Dude, what are you doing?" I said, "I'm just following this build that you gave me." He said, "What?" And apparently like the links were messed up. I invested in skills. I had like a double curse on hit. All sorts of stuff that was messed up. So he's super kind. He spent like an hour or something together with me in game, giving me some more stuff, and trying to fix like what was going on. He made me like a small path build guide. Zizzer would have roasted you? I mean, probably. But I'm not. I'm not dishonest about this, right? It is just that I am not a person necessarily that would deserve a headhunter, because I don't know enough. I don't have enough game knowledge of PoE to figure out what I'm supposed to do with this item. Like, I know theoretically how it works, but not really. I don't really know how it works. So, and Q-Dog constantly says this in his own streams, right? That he mentions this every stream a couple of times, that, you know, if you're asking a question like this, you probably shouldn't be playing the build. And I shouldn't be playing that build, but he gave me the stuff. So yeah, I tried, but I failed, honestly. But now we're all set up, and yeah, so I sometimes, you know, like an hour or 2 hours a day, I just do some mapping with like that headhunter setup, all courtesy of Q-Dog. It's completely insane. Alright? It's completely insane. It makes no sense whatsoever. And after an hour, I'm sort of done. Honestly, I'm like, yeah, there's no challenge. What? No challenge. It's not that fun either. I mean, for stream, it looks pretty good, and you can sort of it's an ideal stream build, honestly. A little bit like this, right? This is a great stream build. Almost died when I said that. But you don't have to really pay attention to anything. Like everything is on autocast. I just have to move around. It's a little bit like that, right? It's like the Blade Vortex, like you said, with the Headhunter. Yeah, you have to just move your maps to the max. True. So I did that, and then I died again. I did a 100% Delirium map. I didn't really look at the map that I was doing it on, and it turned out to be waterways, which is a horrible idea, because you just stand in like these super narrow corridors. So yeah, wasted some Delirium orbs on that, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is, right? But I really enjoy Path of Exile, and I played it for, I don't know, like a year more seriously, a bit more seriously at least. So I played the last couple of leagues for at least like a month, pretty hardcore, multiple hours a day. That's for me pretty hardcore, and yeah, usually just follow the build guide, and then was able to kill, let's say, Cirrus, Awakening level 8. That was a good, that was a nice achievement for me, right? For someone who's also playing this game a lot, and like playing the game really doesn't take that much time. Making the videos takes a lot of time, so yeah. And I'm just not gonna make content about Path of Exile. It would be terrible, honestly, because yeah, you'd have to pretend to know what you're talking about, and I'd rather not do that. Now you can't kill him anymore. I killed him on. I followed this league. I started with a build guide from Baylor Mage, who's also a nice streamer, I think. Not as well known as Q-Dog, I suppose, but nice guy. And I built a what was it? Dominating Blow Herald of Purity build. So a sort of minion summoner build where you're in the forefront as well. Yeah, I killed him one, but now it's 2 times I failed. I have to say that this league, I also tried quite a few times, and sometimes I fail as well on Awakening level 8, this league. And for some reason they messed up, or at least I think, that it's not as telegraphed anymore. And for some reason I'm being killed by the meteors, like Fury of the Cosmos, right? Fury of the Cosmos. That stuff kills me. Like, as long as I pass phase 1, then we're good. But like phase 1, for some reason, like sometimes I'm getting murdered. But yeah. It's kind of funny, like the more Path of Exile you play, the more things you see that this game, Last Epoch, is inspired by Path of Exile. We did the interview this afternoon. I did an interview with Sarno, and we talked a lot about Path of Exile as well. Yeah, and that's a good thing. I mean, as long as they don't start introducing 1500 skill nodes, you know, then we're good. One of the things that I really like about Last Epoch, and not so much about Path of Exile, is sort of like the steep learning curve. And I understand that, you know, Path of Exile is 7 years in development, and this game is, well, 2 years in development, but officially not even released, right? So I do get the nuance there, but what I enjoy a lot about this game is that you can just look at the skill trees and you can look at the passives and you can look at some of the items and then like, you know, think a little bit about how these things would work together and then build your character around it. And that usually works, right? You're not always gonna push like wave 400 in arena, but usually you're gonna be able to reach like, you know, wave 100 at the very least, and you can just come up with your own build. I like that in Grim Dawn as well. Grim Dawn is very similar in that regard, I think, where you also have a skill tree that is very understandable to a regular non-hardcore RPG human. Good thing the skill leveling is easy. Yeah, true. Skill providing a lot of variability, but at least you can understand without having PSD. Yeah, that's exactly my point. Yeah, and in Path of Exile, I just have no idea. Like, even if I read a skill, like a skill gem, and I read it, I don't really have any idea what this thing does half the time. So I'd have to like slot it in and see what happens and see if it's good or not. And then it always starts at level 1, so it never is. It takes ages to level up, right? Like ages. Yeah. Which is why I almost always go for build guide, because that's a way that I can actually enjoy PoE. Like, I enjoy the rest of the game, but the character building process not so much for some reason, because it's just a bit too complicated. And in this game, that's the thing I enjoy the most. Making my own characters, like this guy, right, Timmy. Yeah, you need external tools to be optimized. Well, I would say that it's not even optimized. I tried some builds myself where I thought like, okay, you know, I would assume that this like works well together, and then on a very basic level, right? Yeah, like that building, yeah. But I did, for example, I did a poison build or something. Created my own poison build, which later turned out to be sort of like an archetype, which I was not aware of. Like a sort of a contagion, bane, what's it called? Kind of character, like chaos, poison, damage of time. And I picked a bunch of poison nodes on the tree, and I think I took a duelist or something. And the first like 30 levels was fine. And after that, like my build, like it totally fell off. And I couldn't just figure out why. Up to this day, honestly. I just don't know what happened all of a sudden that made my character do almost no damage anymore. And it was worse and worse, and I put it in like more links, 4 links, 5 links. It was just not really working. And it's because partly because you can't really sort of visualize by reading support gems, for example, by what this is, right? What do you see? Did I bleed build on my own? Big fail. Yeah. I think this is true for so many people, right? I mean, I follow, for example, Mathil on... I don't really watch the guy stream all that often, because usually if I watch anyone stream PoE, it's mostly Q-Dog, because I just think it's hilarious, right? I mean, it is hilarious. It's like almost objectively hilarious. But I do watch Mathil's videos on YouTube, and he comes up with a new build every, what, 2-3 days? And all those builds seem like so innovative, right? And then he explains the build, and I'm like, yeah, I suppose that makes sense. But how the hell do you know all of this? Honestly, I probably could play the game for, I don't know, 5 years more. But yeah, bit of a tough game to start. Empyrea is pretty funny as well. Yeah. No, true. MP is cool too. Frozen Ire. Cute or Chaos. Drops all day. Yeah. We're just gonna farm a little bit, guys. Doesn't really matter, right? It's one of the things Wilson didn't get correctly. And what is that exactly? The skills? Ah, an ARPG must be fast and fun. Or yeah, or at least have the option, right? Yeah. At least at the option. Yeah, no, I agree. Now, this is sort of as fast as it's going to get. You can go a little bit faster, but like not much faster currently in this game. But this is, to me, this is a super enjoyable playstyle, and like every now and then, you know, I just play this. It is pretty brain dead as soon as you build it, but coming up with this build is super fun, and there's some good synergies going on over here with the totems and the avalanche and the cold damage. Like it all ties in nicely. Grim Dawn, yeah, that's true. I found Grim Dawn really slow. An enjoyable game, but very slow. Especially the starting phase. Like that game has some serious ramp up time in the campaign. The first, well, what would it be, like 25, 30 levels or something? It takes ages, right? It takes ages to get through. Afterwards, you usually have a few skills that give you like some movement speeds or like dashes or things that actually help you out. But yeah. Is there anything that I would want over here? It's questionable. Protections? I don't really care about protections, do I? Huh? Look at my defenses. Not bad. I don't actually know. Apparently I went into druid. For more attunement and mana, of course. More damage, why not? Did you ever play Titan Quest? Yeah. yeah, I did. I played it actually when that came out. And I still have in the attic of my parents, I still have the box and the original like CD-ROM of Titan Quest. That was an amazing game back then. An amazing game. It's the predecessor really of Grim Dawn. Like it's the same guys that made Grim Dawn later down the line. But Grim Dawn was amazing, I thought. The ragdoll physics that these guys have, and like the campaign maps, and the whole sort of like Greek mythology that was woven into into that game. And fun character building too. Like you can make some crazy inventive characters over there. I like the idea of no limits on your character, but no limit on the game difficulty as well. Yeah, definitely true. No, I agree. What I do like, I mean, I like Path of Exile a lot. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm playing it every league quite intensively whenever the league is released. And I'm only doing that because I just enjoy the game. I'm not really even making videos about it, right? So I enjoy that game a lot. And I like the variety of it as well. You can do so many things in that game. Yeah, I heard a lot of good things about the Diablo 2 mod in that game, Sanctuary. I might try it. Someday. Are you playing it now? Yeah. It's is it just a mod on the Steam webpage, or how does that work? You can see that pieces interacts with the last two Titan Quest add-ons, just can't deliver the same quality at all. Yeah. I did play those as well. But that is a long time ago. I can't really remember the add-ons, honestly. Like I have very fond memories of the actual campaign. I even remember like the cinematic at the start of the game, where you have like Medusa, who's coming out of that like sort of crypt, right? And then you have this guy, like this gladiator type, fighting her, and in the end dropping the statue of Zeus on her head. But that was some amazing stuff back then. Sort of like unseen stuff almost. And like Diablo 2 existed for sure, right? Diablo 2 is definitely there. But I think Diablo is already a bit older. Is it on Nexus mods? I don't know. Could be on the Steam Workshop, maybe. Ah, you have to, maybe it's a specific mod, just like some of the Skyrim mods. Another Soulfire. Always good to have Soulfires, guys. If you ever want to play an Ignite build. And Ignite build is some of the builds that utilizes quite a few of the uniques if you have them. Like you can do the Soulfire, you can do that the Calamity, right? Which is the helmet. That works really well with Soulfire. You have a few fire-based weapons, like the Eye of Green, the Katana, you have the Pontifex, which is pretty good, Volcanus, the Staff. Boardman 21 made a nice iteration on the Flame Reef build. I also have one or two characters with Flame Reef. And I really enjoyed this video on it. Like he used the Volcanus and a two-handed as a two-handed weapon to proc a bunch of other stuff as well. It looked really cool, seemed pretty decent. He made about like wave 100 with extremely good gear, I might add. Yeah. It's a bit of a hard sell. I think maybe my Flame Reaver guy would then make level like 75 or something maybe in that arena. Yeah, it was interesting. The 3-man makes him the on at least 80% DT. Yeah, that's good stuff. I'm wondering if you guys have any builds that you want me to try out. Let me know, either by just putting a comment under one of the videos or something, because I'm reading those, or telling me right here, because that's fine too. For next week, I think we're still looking to do something for the stream, that is. So yeah, I'm not totally sure what we'll do, but I do plan on like keeping up the stream on a Friday night, because yeah, I think that's fine. A good high-end game fire build. Yeah, we can try and look into that. Ignite is not that easy because it doesn't really scale, but we can maybe next week we'll try and make something out of an Ignite build. That's a good idea. I already have a few characters that can do that theoretically, so yeah, that's fine. Hey, but for now guys, I'm gonna make the stream a little bit shorter because I woke up super early today because I had a meeting like early morning. Normally on Friday I don't have to work, but in this case I did. And I had a long day. I made a video, I did an interview, and then stream. So yeah, I'm a little tired. And so we're just gonna quit right here. Thanks so much for watching once again, guys and girls. I really appreciate it. I see you guys next week, at least. And you can expect, I think, a Totem build guide tomorrow. The weekly roundup on Sunday. I'm sure Sarna will drop a bunch more news. I'll make a video on that. So enough content at least on the channel for the next week. So hopefully I'll see you guys next week in stream. Probably 8 PM again. You can find the event. I'll create it a day in advance or something. Alright guys. Thanks so much for watching. And I'll see you soon. Bye bye.
You see